everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joyce, and here's what happened this week. A new survey finds that a growing number of Taiwan's workplaces are queer-friendly. A report by local groups Tongsi Hotline and Taiwan Equality Campaign identified 47 of the 62 surveyed companies as friendly to LGBTQ+ employees. Over 60% of these businesses were foreign-owned. The survey also found that only around a quarter had written LGBTQ+ protections into their company policies. Rights groups say that companies in Taiwan can do more to accommodate their queer employees. Despite signs of society becoming more accepting of LGBTQ+ people in Taiwan, the country's reproductive laws are limiting their ability to start a family. Harrell Hughes met with one couple who are experiencing this restriction firsthand.
A family of two, hoping to become a family of three.
我们是网络交友认识的。对。
Ambu and Rita are legally married in Taiwan and ready for a baby. But their options to have one in the country are limited. Under Taiwanese law, reproductive procedures such as IVF and implantation are only open to women who are married to men. To get around this, Ambu and Rita found a fertility clinic abroad and have sent their frozen eggs to the United States to prepare for IVF. It's a process that's been full of challenges.
那其实主要就是产生一个蛮昂贵的一个，因为它是生物的，
对，
医疗级的一个的运费，对对对，其实这笔运费是蛮不小的负担，这样子，对对对。那算是第一次正式出国，就是直接要去植入了。
Taiwan was the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. It also has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. Women here can and are encouraged to freeze their eggs, with the government even offering subsidies for the procedure. But it's an option not available for LGBTQ+ couples, as using a woman's frozen eggs requires a husband's permission.
There are more and more people wanted to build their family, especially after we have the same-sex marriage law. So it's very interesting to see that with the commitment to fix the low birth rate problem, the government cannot see that there are people who want to have their kids.
Legislators have only just begun discussing updates to the law to allow female same-sex couples access to reproductive technology. But Ambu and Rita decided not to wait for change that may or may not come. They're preparing to start their family now.
经济上跟人力上是准备好了。心情上，我觉得我可能还在调试，对我还在调试。
就准备好，就是第一个决定是我要做这件事情，就是我要做了。
Despite the journey and extra expenses, Ambu and Rita have high hopes their family can start growing in the spring. But for many other LGBTQ+ families in Taiwan, they'll have to wait for a government decision in their search for equality. Eason Pan, Eason Chen, and Harrell Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Surgeons in Taiwan have completed a rare double lung transplant. It comes amid a shortage of organ donations in the country. Reese Ayers has the story.
For almost 10 hours, a team of surgeons worked on one of the most difficult procedures in medicine, a double lung transplant. One of fewer than 20 such procedures in Taiwan this year, doctors say this transplant was the only chance Mr. Lee had to survive.
慢性阻塞性肺病这一块，如果做了这个肺脏移植手术，可以显著的换了新的肺脏之后，那手术也顺利成功的话，那是可以显著改善他的生活品质。
Mr. Lee was fortunate on several counts. Organ donations are in extremely short supply in Taiwan, with waiting lists as long as 2.5 years. What's more, surviving the complex procedure is a challenge in itself. For Mr. Lee's son, his father's survival was a massive blessing.
感谢你们这2个半月以来对我父亲病情的照顾，只有体会过的人才知道你们付出了多少的心血。
In addition to a lack of organ donations, very few surgeons can perform such a difficult operation. Taiwanese surgeons have to first train and become qualified overseas to perform organ transplants. But improvements in medical techniques are helping increase patient survival rates.
双侧的一个前开胸，我们手术视野会比较小，主要是对病人的疼痛跟恢复是比较好的。这也代表说我们有能力可以去做这样比较小伤口的一个手术。
More than 5,000 people die of lung disease in Taiwan every year, making it the 7th leading cause of death in the country. And experts say that smoking accounts for over 70% of lung disease cases globally. Until Taiwan can source more organ donors and qualified surgeons, transplant success stories like Mr. Lee's will remain few and far between. Dolphine Chen and Reese Ayres for TaiwanPlus.
New data show a spike in depression rates among students in Taiwan since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. A survey of over 1,600 post-secondary students found depression in the group has risen by 9%, with time management, academic pressure, and worries about the future as the biggest sources of stress. Taiwan's government has been trying to improve young people's mental health with subsidized counseling sessions, and experts say mental health problems are treatable.
学生的忧郁的比例大概高了大概9% 左右，他真的有一个忧郁倾向啊，透过心理师的力量是可以做介入与改变的。
The world of crypto has been riddled with high-profile scams and global scrutiny. Taiwan was one of the biggest losers last year when the major cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, collapsed. But some investors here haven't yet folded, despite losing almost everything. Crypto trader Laura Liu is still recovering from the biggest loss of her career. She's a former FTX employee and the founder of a media and PR agency built around crypto and the tech behind it, blockchain. Her business came crashing down last November when her most important client collapsed. That was FTX, once the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world.
现在公司没钱了，我们要解散了。那有跟我们 team member 就是说，嘿，我们就休息，我们就至少我真的想要 stop 一阵子。
Liu is just one of almost 30,000 people in Taiwan hurt by the FTX crash, which wiped billions of US dollars in digital assets around the world. Losses in Taiwan totaled around $500 million, making it the 5th most affected country, excluding tax havens. Crypto traders like Liu know it's a risky business, but for many, the potential gains are too attractive. Essentially, crypto works like stocks. People buy the digital currency hoping it will go up in price so that they can then sell it for a profit. But unlike traditional stocks, crypto trading is all virtual and runs on what's known as blockchain technology. Blockchain boosters say the tech decentralizes systems and skirts bureaucratic delays. Here, instead of a bank keeping track of transactions, people pay directly with virtual cryptocurrencies, which are publicly recorded on a so-called digital block. These transactions can't be erased, and when new ones come in, they're added on to form a chain. All users get the same running chain of information, which gives transactions its validity.
The problem is that many people think that they can make a quick money out of it and run away with it. There's no intermediary running after you or regulation. That is the power of crypto. That itself is a problem with the crypto.
Despite damages to crypto's reputation and Taiwan's own big loss in the FTX scam, some developers have chosen to stick with the underlying tech. Thousands of local and foreign entrepreneurs recently flocked to Taipei, specifically to promote blockchain and its potential.
Yeah, I think our ultimate goal is to bring Taiwan on the international stage for blockchain innovation and technologies. Taiwan is actually a very high volume trading country, even though people don't know about it. There's so much more besides cryptocurrency that is blockchain.
But developers say regulation is needed, and governments, including Taiwan's, are grappling with how to limit bad actors in the space. That's also something Liu hopes for. She hasn't given up on crypto and is restarting her business from scratch, but this time with more caution.
这件事情让我开始思考，假设如果之后真的 crypto 不见了，或是 blockchain 不见了，那我应该要去哪里？
Despite knowing how costly the risks, Liu is still betting on crypto, hoping what she's learned will make what she now builds in the virtual space harder to knock down. In a message to smokers in Taiwan, a woman in the northeastern county of Yilan is picking up cigarette butts to do her part for the environment. Irene Lin has the story.
Picking up one cigarette butt at a time, Jiang Yunqian is raising awareness of cigarette butt littering.
烟蒂里面有一个非常可怕的成分叫做醋酸纤维。那其实烟呢，它除了尼古丁，还有很多有毒的物质。
Jiang has been working to protect the environment for years and regularly participates in beach cleaning events. More recently, she's joined other volunteers cleaning an oil spill that's hit Taiwan's northeastern coast. The land pollution is also an issue she cares about. Jiang's picking up cigarette butts along the entire coast of the northeastern county of Yilan. She's doing it for the environment and her kids. She says she hopes to leave the world clean and safe for future generations. Many passerbys were touched by Jiang's activism and volunteered to help.
觉得就是很厉害，这样子愿意这样子走，对，然后不会这种脏污吧。
Jiang says she often sees cigarette butts tossed on the streets. But this kind of littering doesn't just harm the environment. In most places in Taiwan, it's an offense you can get fined up to $120 for.
如果你没有地方丢，你应该把烟蒂熄灭后自己带一个包包袋子自己带回家。
Jiang is just halfway through her 6-day journey, and she's continuing to inspire people along the way, making it clear that smokers might want to think twice before littering and leaving the public to clean up after them. Klein Wang and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Have you heard about Tap Out Island? The concept is simple. 2 wrestlers step onto the mat and fight until one gives up. Our reporter Bryn Thomas checks out Taiwan's first submission-only grappling league.
Remember being 7 years old, and your older brother would put you in a headlock while shouting, "Say uncle, say uncle." It's like that, only people volunteer for it. Fighters gathered in Taipei this weekend for a new martial arts event they hope will bring more attention to their sport.
以前比较少这样的机会啦，就以前的比赛规则比较多，大家很多观众可能看不太懂。那相对来说，这比赛规则就很简单，你没有其他很多奇怪的分数，就是结束对手，让对手 tap 投降就赢了。
Basically, you win by submission. To do that, you have to put your opponent in a position where they're forced to give up or else be seriously injured. This is called a submission or a sub and is achieved by a choke to the neck, a joint lock to the arms or legs, or a torsion attack on the legs or ankles. It allows for techniques that are considered too dangerous and even a little unsporting in other events. The first event of Taiwan's first ever submission-only grappling league. Although the event is small, some big boys are here to test their mettle. It's called Tap Out Island, and although it looks and in fact can be dangerous, the fighters here have weighed up the risks.
There's always a chance of injury, but we have rules in place. If I tap, he stops, no slams. So the odds of actual injury are quite low, but it's always part of it.
This format strips away the judges, the puzzling rule sets, and the complexity that are a feature of many traditional martial arts competitions in Taiwan. Event organizers say it's easier to understand and is breathing a bit of life into a martial arts scene that's become too focused on small details.
Feel like no-gi sub-only is more combat-based, and that's where I came from. And so I want to bring this scene, which is relatively unknown here in Taiwan, because even some of the coaches and the referees here be like, wait, you mean there's no point and no advantages? I want to make jiu-jitsu more of a spectator sport. So I'm trying to promote the scene here to make jiu-jitsu more entertaining for everybody.
And while many in the small audience are here for a bit of action, the competitors will tell you it's more about the community.
It's like all the sports families here. We have so many people from different academy, but we are all family. Yeah, jiu-jitsu family.
Taiwan's jiu-jitsu and grappling community threw their backs into this event, and it passed without injury or incident. And whether participants won or lost their individual bout, the big winner on the day was the sport itself and its growing prospects in Taiwan. Devin Tsai and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
Thanks for watching. Here's what happened. I'm Joyce. Stay warm and see you next week.